Guys, it's Lyra Weltzman, known as the Controversialist. Today in this video, we are going to speak about anxiety, what anxiety means, what anxiety is, how to deal with anxiety, and just all about anxiety. So basically, I was first diagnosed with anxiety at the age of 14, as well as depression. And for me in the beginning, I didn't know what any of this meant. And I can understand that people who have never gone through anxiety or have never gone through depression, etc., cannot understand what it means to have these illnesses. And yes, anxiety is an illness, it's a disease, it is something that you suffer from, it is something that you have, it's not who you are, but it is something that you have and something that you need to deal with. So it's not just an adjective that people constantly use. Another thing is that we all know people who take anti-anxiety medication. In my classroom, I think there are about 4 kids in every class that suffer from anxiety and have not suffer from anxiety but suffer from anxiety and take anti-anxiety medication. And I feel that just like Ritalin, anti-anxiety medication is just given out to everyone like it's Smarties. And instead of just giving medication, we should ask where is your anxiety coming from? What makes you anxious? And what can we do to help you deal with your anxiety? Instead of just giving an anti-anxiety medication and completely demolishing your anxiety, which doesn't really do anyways, you still feel the anxiety. I feel like it just makes you a bit of a zombie and just, for me, it doesn't really help. No matter how much anti-anxiety medication I take. But what I wanted to say was that so many people just think anxiety is stress or nerves or anxiousness or anger. It's not. It is so much more. Anxiety has so much more to it. It's something that it really debilitates someone and paralyzes someone. It can take your identity away. When I feel anxiety, I feel completely overwhelmed. I feel like I'm drowning. Like I don't know what to do with myself. I feel like I just cannot cope. I cannot take anything. Everything is too much. And what I think is that people need to realize that anxiety is so much more. There's so much more to it. When you're feeling stressed, yes, you have a bit of anxiety, but it's more stress than anxiety. If you're feeling overwhelmed, it is anxiety, but you're feeling overwhelmed. Anxiety has so many components to it, and it's so in depth that when I say, Ma, I have anxiety, it's not just, oh, Ma, I'm feeling a bit stressed, I'm feeling a bit nervous. It's like I'm completely shutting off. I'm shutting down. Like I cannot take it. I sat at work this week and I was completely, I just couldn't, I have an anxiety, sorry. Anxiety is something that you can feel. It's something that, for me, it's here. I can feel my anxiety. My whole body hurts. It aches. My muscles are tense. I'm a complete ball of anxiety. And to me, it's something that, I can't just get rid of. I can't just say, oh, just stop being anxious. I sat at work and I just felt like I had to go home. I had to go into bed. I couldn't take the people. I couldn't stand up in class and deal with these kids. I just wanted to sit on the floor in the classroom and cry. I was irritated, and I just sat and I was like this the whole time. I was like this the whole time. I just couldn't deal with it. And that's what anxiety does. It completely cripples you. And when you have bad anxiety, you get depression with it. So anxiety isn't just anxiety by itself, but it's so often correlated to depression. And anxiety and depression are like friends. They're always together almost. So when you feel anxiety, you don't only feel the anxiety, but you also get that depression with it. So again, you feel debilitated, you feel paralyzed, you feel anxious, you feel overwhelmed, you feel like you're drowning, you feel bedridden. And you cannot cope. That's the main thing, is that you cannot cope because you feel all those emotions. And I feel that so much of the time anxiety is just an adjective. Like, oh, you have anxiety. Oh, I have so much anxiety. No, you don't have anxiety. You have stress. You have nerves. But you don't have anxiety. It's not an adjective. It's an illness. It's something that people suffer from. And I think for me, when just a few coping tips when I have anxiety, is that I draw, I write. Just write down all what you feel, and it's almost like sometimes it swooshes off you, and you just write, or you just type, and it all comes out. A lot of the time when I have anxiety, I post a lot of things on Instagram or Facebook because I just want to express myself, my suffering. Another thing that I do is I take it hour by hour, minute by minute. I take it class by class. And that helps me cope with the day. If I'm from work at 2:45 till 3:30, I mean, how am I going to cope with it with so much anxiety and depression? So I take it an hour by hour, 2 to 3. Then I have half an hour left. Then I have 1 to 2, etc. Another thing is to get that support, to get that help. I mean, if I couldn't just message my mom or my boyfriend every time I felt a bit of anxiety, I don't know what I would do, because I need someone to understand what I'm going through. I don't want to feel like I'm alone in this. You need that support system. And like I said in the last video, if you don't have that support system, be that support system for yourself. Support yourself. A lot of the time I talk to myself. I say, okay, Larry, it's okay. You're going to sit now. You're going to do this. Just concentrate on this. Do things that make you feel a bit warm on the inside. I make myself a cup of tea or a cup of coffee at work, just so I can feel a bit of comfort. I have a rusk or whatever makes you feel comfortable. Do that for yourself. Make yourself comfy. I wear comfortable clothes, so I don't have to always feel like, just little things that make yourself feel more comfortable and make yourself feel more safe. Another thing that I do is I take it like I speak to myself. So I say, it's okay, Leo, it's going to be okay, etc., etc. So just talk to yourself, right? Drawing is another great one. Doodle. I also doodle. I go into my own little bubble and I doodle. Do something that you can concentrate on. So if it's studying, if it's work, if it's watching TV, do something that takes you out of that anxiety zone, right? Do something that makes you comfort. Do something that gives you comfort, that makes you comfortable, that makes you calm and collected in yourself. Have that support system. Be your support system. And all of that, it really can help your anxiety. Anti-anxiety medication, I do think, is a great one, just so it can calm yourself a bit. Get those little smells that you can smell that will calm you, like lavender, that will calm you down, is also a great one. All those little things can just help you cope with your anxiety. And I think that everyone needs to take anxiety in a more serious way, because it's not only mentally and emotionally that you feel your anxiety, but you can also feel anxiety physically within an anxiety attack. So when you have your anxiety attack, you feel like you're dying. You can't breathe. You gasping for air. You literally feel like you're dying. Like you can't, like you don't know what to do. Your whole body goes numb. And I often hold myself here, like like feeling like that. And what I can think of to cope with your anxiety attacks is to just focus on one little thing, right? Just focus on something that you can see. If it's a picture or a dot on the wall or anything, just concentrate on that, breathe, and do counts. Do 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Do your breathing techniques. Also, really helpful. Meditation is a great one for anxiety. When I'm anxious, I have a work colleague who makes me completely anxious. Really, really gives me great anxiety. I mean, I have nightmares about her. So she's definitely one that is nudging my anxiety. What I do is I have a breathing technique that gives me confidence. So I say, breathe in fearlessness, breathe out in confidence. Breathe in fearlessness, breathe out confidence. And every time I'm around her, or I'm about to be around her, or I feel like I'm not competent enough in my job, I say, breathe in fearlessness, breathe out confidence. And that really helps because you're getting it into your mind, constantly breathing and breathing out. So that's a tip for anxiety attacks. And leave someone when they have anxiety attack. Just don't crowd them. I mean, when everyone is crowding me when I have anxiety attack, I'm like, get away, get away. You feel like you dying, and then everyone's around you. It's even worse. So just leave someone who has an anxiety attack. Say, I'm here for you. You're gonna be okay. Give them the space, okay? Because it's also a bit overwhelming, and it's also it can be embarrassing for them, which it shouldn't be, but it can be. So yeah, I think those are the main tips for anxiety. If you see that something is going to give you an anxiety, play out that situation. Say, how am I going to cope with it if it happens? If this happens, what am I going to do? But don't put too much concentration on it. Otherwise, it's going to give you even more anxiety. And your anxiety is going to make you think thoughts and make up situations that aren't really there. So I think think about what you're going to say, think about what you're going to do, play it out, but don't put too much thought into it, because then you're going to start making stories up, and then that's going to give you more anxiety. So I think I'm going to do another video about anxiety, but for now, that's all I have to say about anxiety. And comment, like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.